Hey folks, I'm Kevin.
What we're going to do today is we're going to take a Starlink cable and bring it up through the bottom of the camper and show you how to run this cable in a way that's the least invasive and will give you a good aesthetic while providing good functionality. Many folks agree that Starlink is a great option for your camper for being on the move and still getting internet. And the basic components of a Starlink system are the wireless router that you see here, as well as the transmitter dish and the cables. So the idea is that the transmitter cable is outside, the cable runs inside, runs to the wireless router. The wireless router allows you to tap in and have internet on your devices. Step one is really to figure out where you want to mount your router, and it can sit on a table, but we bought a handy dandy wall mount off of Amazon so that we could connect the router to the wall. The next piece is to determine where the cable is going to go outside in the camper and how you're going to run that cable. Since we have our Starlink transmitter mounted on a pole in the back of the cable, we wanted to be able to come down up in through the camper in the shortest route possible. To do this, we ordered a grommet that would go through a hole that would actually be designed to hold a Starlink cable and bring it up into your camper. My initial thoughts were that I wanted to come up through one of my storage compartments to bring the cable up through there where I could store it inside. However, that was not going to be the easiest route. The easiest route turned out to be the space between my rear bumper and that open compartment where I'm sitting. This space coincided with a space right next to my bed, which is where I chose that I wanted to mount the wireless router. When using the grommet, which will be listed in the links below, you actually have to take the cable out of the transmitter because the end that fits into your router is too big to fit through the hole of the grommet nut. So you actually have to use the thin part and fish it all the way through, even through the hole that you drill in the camper, to get it through the grommet so that it is securely in place. This grommet is really a game changer because what it allows you to do is bring the cable up inside your camper while sealing it off from critters, pretty much keeping it watertight. And if you notice where I place it, when you see it, it's actually way up in, so the chances that water are going to get in there are very, very slim. But you can see the cable actually fits well into the grommet and becomes secure with the additional piece that's put in and the nut that goes over it. So really a cool design. Initially, I looked at the possibility of going down into that compartment through the cabinet drawers that are next to me. However, that really was not going to be the most efficient way. The best route was actually for me to go down between the bed and the wall of the cabinet, straight down near the rear, so it would actually come out between that underneath cabinet and the bumper. And I used a drill bit that was sized appropriately for the grommet so it would fit through it. And reaching in between there was not super easy. I had to cut, there's a little piece of carpet that was still left in there from our remodel. So I had to cut a little hole in that and then use the drill to go down through. So it was not super easy, but it wasn't extremely difficult. Once the hole was drilled, it was now time to fish the cable through the hole. Using the skinny end because the way the grommet is and everything and the actual size of the hole. So you have to use the skinny end to get it in first. While running the cable, I decided to use some electrical tape to cover the end of the cable. This was mainly to keep out dirt and debris from the end of the cable that would possibly cause a problem later. Fishing the cable through was actually quite easy. Once we got it through, you can see how much real estate I had to work with. I was only dealing with a few inches, so make sure you measure correctly before you start drilling your holes, and always drill a pilot hole first. Once the cable's through, it's now time to hook your grommet up. So you actually connect it to the cable, get it placed appropriately the length that you need coming up into the room, and then you can push it down through the hole, have your partner hold it while you tighten it up from the bottom. One of the trade-offs by using the route that I did is that the cable itself has to be stored somewhere. So actually what I decided to do when I travel, I am actually going to roll the cable up. I'm actually got a little a bag that you don't see in this video that I will put it in and attach it to the ladder while we're traveling with a cap over the end of the cable to keep any wetness or debris out. That's one of the downfalls of not going up through one of the compartments, but that route just wasn't going to be efficient enough. If you look closely, you can see that grommet really does a good job of securing that cable and holding it in. And it's so far up, I don't think there will be ever an issue with water, and it's very, very tight. Once the cable was run through, it was time to reconnect the transmitter and get it hooked back up on the pole on the camper. Now that we have the pole back in place, it's time to take the excess cable, wrap it up, use a Velcro strap to put it on the ladder to keep it out of the way. Now that we've got the outside taken care of, it's time to move inside and to mount the bracket for the wireless router. Mounting the wireless router bracket is very, very simple. Basically, 2 screws, use the drill, put them in, very simple. Once the bracket is mounted, you can place your wireless router in place, make sure it's level, make sure it's where you want it. Then basically all you have to do is connect the cable in and then put the wireless router right back up on the wall and you're good to go. Overall, I have to say that this project went really well. Anytime you're drilling into your floor though, you got to be careful, you got to measure things, make sure that you're not going to drill down and puncture a gas tank or an electrical line or something like that. But overall, if you do some good pre-planning, you are good to go. I would highly recommend getting the grommet that I ordered. I will have a link in the description below. There's very few places that you can find this. It's more of a specialty item, but it is a game changer. We will list all the items used in the description below. Also, you can check out our website at www.befreebenson.com. Also, if you found value in this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And we would really love it if you go ahead and subscribe to our channel as well. It really does help us out. As always, doing things yourself, stepping outside the box, even when the audio doesn't work on your camera so you have to do a voiceover, it all allows you to be free. See you in the next video.